You tell me when.
We should be good.
Okay, it's 6 o'clock here, November 18th, 2025 meeting of the Spikeland Town Council. So first up on the docket is minutes of the prior meeting of the Town Council.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I one correction that I noticed kind of through it. So that's like kind of the third paragraph down. Vice President Jody French opened the floor back up to old business, because I think that must have been Jack was running. That was from Jody ran the meeting before.
Yeah.
So I think that just needs to be corrected to Jack Runner.
Yeah.
With that change, I'll second the motion.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to adopt the minutes of the October 2025 Spikeland Town Council meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, minutes passed. Pass this way. Okay, second on the docket is superintendent's report. Jeff's not here tonight, but did he leave anything with you? Okay. Clerk treasurer report.
I just have a couple things. I do have the 1782 notice for the budget in 2026. Everything was given as we put in for the budget, so I will sign that and get that turned in for the approval of our budget for next year. In your packets, you do have the ordinances for the salaries and things like that, just so you guys can kind of look at where everything is at, and we can put that in motion for approval or changes for next month. Other than that, I don't know.
Okay.
How are we doing, like Christmas and New Year's this year? You know, because they kind of fall on weird days.
Well, what we had kind of discussed is possibly working Christmas Eve and then taking Friday off. So we have Thursday, Friday on basically both of them. So
yeah,
which, like you said, would it be in?
Like in the middle of the week this year.
Yeah, right. Let me check. Yeah, so we would probably work Christmas Eve, which is the 24th, and then take the 25th and 26th off, and then the same with New Year's. Just having the 2 days there.
okay.
So basically, work New Year's Eve and then have the Friday off after.
I would just make a suggestion, maybe to make sure if you haven't already got it posted, to post it.
Yep, for sure will.
Okay. Next, discussion and any official action on the approval or dismissal.
I'll make a motion to claims as presented.
Okay.
Oh, second. Sorry.
You're fine. It's been moved and seconded to accept the claims. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Claims are approved. Okay, does the council have any old business that we need to discuss?
I want to talk about the crossing grant, and I would like to possibly move to a vote for. So I think we talked about last meeting. So we've got a proposal from Strain Associates in regards to the community crossing grant, and to sum it up, essentially, so we have about $198,000 in roads and street budget. Is that right?
Yeah.
And so we would hire Strain Associates to complete the application. And as you remember, they made a presentation. I thought it was a very impressive presentation. And, you know, like most of us, they've never not been, given the grant that they applied for. As a reminder, the community crossings grant is now a 20% match. So I'm proposing we match 60. We're going to put in 60,000. We would get 300,000 as far as the grant if we were awarded the grant. So tonight, what we would have to, I think, vote on would be hiring Strand Associates to complete the application. And of course, they come in and do the assessment of the streets. What's that called again, Darren? The
Pacer rating.
Pacer rating. And then they would submit the application. So their fee is $30,000. Application is $15,000. And that would be good until we actually got the grant. So like if we, if they apply for the grant on our behalf and we'll turn down, there's 2 windows every year, one in the spring, one in the fall. If they were turned down in the fall, that would go, or in the spring, we would go into the fall. So that money would be good until we actually got the grant, is the way that I understand it. So I'm sure once we reach out to them, if we were to approve it tonight, that they would have a contract available. I'm sure that Julie could take over. So do you all feel comfortable going with the vote tonight? What we have to do is do the hiring of Strand and the application fees. The total would be $30,000 to Strand and $15,000 for this community crossings application.
Okay. No, I mean, you guys feel free to speak up. I mean, I was impressed with everything. I mean, I think they're very well versed in this process.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think some folks on board that have worked for the Department of Transportation. And
So sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So I assume we can pay their fee and the application out of, can we pay that out of the streets, or do you know? Can we pay that out of, let's see, we got motor vehicle highway fund, we got 25,000 in local roads and streets. Looks like we got 198,000. Then motor vehicle restricted, which I can't remember why that's restricted, that's 78,000. So we got quite a bit in there. I mean, I think this would be a good opportunity to utilize. But I don't remember, I assume that we can pay them out of that, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
When we look back to when the last time we received the community crossings grant, see what we paid for, because we hired a firm at that time to do it as well.
Yeah.
So,
I'm supportive of it too.
okay. Well, at this time, I'll make a motion to approve funds and we'll get help to make sure that it's out of the street budget. $30,000 for design and construction services to Strand Associates, and $15,000 for the community crossings grant application fee of $15,000 for a total of $45,000.
I'll say.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the $30,000 fee to Strand Associates and a $15,000 grant application fee for a total of $45,000 for the community crossings grant. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries.
Now we just fall in, after we reward the grant, our match is $60,000. So what I tried to look at, and Hope and I was like, it's about half of what we have budget, in our budget right now. So, it doesn't run us dry by any means, but that would be as much money to roads since I've been on the board. I mean, like I said, the Main Street project was $100,000, and this is triple that. So I think we've been able to get quite a bit done. And then again, they'll come in and they'll make recommendations because you can do crack sealing with that money as well, and actually do complete sealing of a road as well. So there's some decisions we have to make if we were awarded the grant.
Yeah. Do you know the date on what the spring is or in fall?
I do know he said if we passed it, if we approved it by the end of the year, they'd be able to get it submitted by spring.
Okay.
For the spring.
Okay.
So we reached out, tomorrow or whenever soon and get them started.
All right. Is there there any other old business that the council wants to cover?
Yeah, I want to, so this has been a long time conversation, but, Spiceland Planning Commission appointments. So I sent out to the council, got some folks interested, had some interviews, verified that they met the requirements for, political party, separation. So I wanted to make a motion tonight to go ahead and approve or motion to accept the 4 citizen appointments that I sent out, and their terms would be staggered per state law. The 2 of them would have 3-year terms, 2 of them would have 4-year terms, so that when their terms come up in the future, they continue to be staggered. And I would suggest that we not start until, that we not make them effective until January 1st. That way it follows that 4-year. So it was Alicia Clements, Luke Garner, Brian Thomas, and Peggy Tridico.
Which is, I'll share it, see this stuff.
Yeah.
Sets up their, sets up their terms.
So you made the motion?
I'm gonna make a motion to approve the 4 citizen appointments.
Okay. I'll second the motion.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the 4 citizen appointments to the Spiceland Planning Commission. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, motion passes.
And then the other, so, I don't know if we want to do this now or if we want to wait until next month. I don't know if we want to wait till January. So 7-member board, 4 citizens, and then the other 3 have to be, either board members or other, staff or appointed members of the town. I think the assumption that we had made previously in discussing that it would probably just be 3 board members. I mean, technically by the state rules, like Hope would be eligible, Jack, and, you know, but, I don't know if we want to go ahead and consider making the appointments as of, January 1st for town board members, or if we want to wait until next month's meeting or the January meeting.
There's only 3 for next month.
Yeah.
Just move forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would volunteer for that.
I volunteer for it.
Yep, I'm volunteer for it.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry.
Did y'all through
Yeah, you okay with that?
Okay.
Okay.
Then we'll be, I think we're talking to Jody about it as well. She's good with it as well, so I think the 3 of us will serve on it as board volunteers, and then those 4 citizen appointments, I'll make a board of 7.
Well, to make it official, I'll make a motion that the, 3 board members, 1-year term, so it'll be every year, myself, Jack, and, Scott, serve a 1-year term starting January 1st.
You want to second that?
I'll second. Okay, it's been, moved and seconded, to approve the 3 town board, what are we calling it?
Just
Appointments to the Spiceland Planning Commission. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, motion passes. So does that take care of all of our appointments for?
Yeah, here's one other thing I want to bring up. Yeah, for that it does. So we're good on that. We can get started on that. Since I won't be here next month too, I want to bring up, we have a seat on the EDC board. I know you served for a while. I served quite a long time. I served again this year, but I have missed a lot of meetings just because it's conflicted with work, and we don't have to make an appointment this year, or I mean, as in like right now at this meeting, but, ideally, maybe somebody else could go. It's a morning meeting, it's a usually 7:30 to 8:30 meeting, at the RENC building. I don't know. So if it's not a I guess it doesn't have to be a council member. I mean, that could, theoretically, it could be Hope, it could be Jeff, or
Is it a monthly meeting or?
monthly, yeah. So, I don't know. Think about it.
Okay.
I prefer not to do it again, because I just don't know that I can, like I said, I've missed quite a few this year, so I feel bad about that, but.
What day of the week is it on?
It's on Thursday. So Thursdays, I can't remember, it's like second or third Thursday of the month, 7:30 to 8:30 in the morning at the RENC building. So, I don't know, think about it, maybe somebody else might wanna pick that up next year.
Okay. Do we have any other old business that we need to discuss? If not, I'll go ahead and bring up my piece, which is the, stop sign ordinance. I think this was brought up in the September meeting at first. So, this is the updated ordinance adding the stop signs to the intersection of 2nd Street and Harrison Street. It makes that a 4-way stop. This just, this ordinance amendment basically just adds that stop sign to our already list of signed intersections in our ordinances. So I think we can go ahead and vote on this ordinance tonight to just accept this as everybody's good. We can pass this around. We've got one copy, but it's basically a boilerplate copy paste, just updating the 2nd Harrison Street as a 4-way stop. So.
Yeah, our town ordinances just have the list of the stop signs, so this is just to add it to.
Okay. I'll make a motion. Make a motion to approve ordinance 2025-3, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
The addition of stop signs at 2nd and Harrison, which will make that stop, a 4-way stop.
Yeah.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept ordinance 2025-3, add stop signs to 2nd Harrison Street. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Yeah, I remember, it wasn't that long ago, we tried speed bumps there, and it would make, probably still won't have people necessarily stopping at the stop signs, and maybe they'll slow down.
Yeah.
Who knows, maybe Matt will catch somebody trying to run.
They might.
You
I think
Will
that car catch them?
I don't know, sometimes I still run the stop signs over here on rural.
You know,
I probably shouldn't tell you that, I should. Oh, yeah.
The other thing that I wanted to mention was we, of course, have gone through our state board accounts audit, and we, Hope and I set for the exit interview of that, which Hope passed with flying colors, and they had a few, basically 2 different small procedural recommendations for us, basically as just more checks and balances that we have essentially a second eye on some of these daily accounts that we're taking money out of. So folks already worked on, the procedure change for that, but all of our numbers checked out. They said we looked good, so we'll live to see another day. That's what
So that's a very thorough audit.
Oh, yeah, they were here
Yes.
I know I go to work in the morning and I was like, who's there at 6:30 in the morning?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So what day Is that, it was covered just last year, or does that cover the full year?
Yeah, 4 years.
4
Yeah, 4
years.
years.
Mhm. So we're back to even Dom's
Yeah.
tenure and
Yeah.
that as well.
I was a friend of mine when we did that. Excellent. Always in good shape.
Good job, thank you.
So that pretty much covers all the old business. Is there any new business that the board wants to discuss?
So they, did some work down at the park, little, did like a bridge thing?
Yeah, that was part of the, park department's approval, whenever we got everything done, that was adding the bridge, and they finally got it all set and everything, so.
Yeah.
We tried to go to the plan,
Yeah.
so that's been good.
Did they take the letters off the shelter?
Yes,
What was the story there?
when it got super hot,
Yeah.
it melted the glue off the magnets, so
wow.
a couple of them fell. So then when it took them down, so they can reinforce them a little bit better, and that's what they
Oh,
were
good.
so. Yeah,
That's my stuff.
and they're working on putting, Dust-to-Dawn lights underneath the shelter as well, so that'll be an additional.
We've come a long way on that park this year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, looks nice.
Okay, that concludes the new business. Then, we'll open it up to the audience for any, questions and comments. Well,
My term is up in December for the sewer board, and I would like to resign. And, I have someone to suggest if you, would like that. I think you should get a younger person, and I think you should get someone that is interested in learning how the operation works and is willing to take classes to learn the business.
yeah,
It is a business, you know.
yeah,
It's not a little business either.
it's an important business.
It's a very important business for the life of everyone.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of people that you represent. And I really enjoyed it because you learn a lot.
How long have you been on there, Ada? About a few years, right?
8 years.
There's no way we could talk into one more year.
Well, they do, it's a 4-year term.
Yeah? Or
So-
what about one more term?
I tried. Well, see, I'm 84.
84 years young.
Yes, that's right. And I just think that a younger brain might be useful. So that's what I'm suggesting, that you get someone that really is interested in learning.
Yeah.
Because it's a process.
You said you have a suggestion.
Yes. There's a man that's just moved into Mrs. Ford's house. I don't know if you know where that's at. You know where that Mrs. Ford is? You do, I know. He just works for Chapman Plumbing. So you already have somebody that knows about water business. And his name is Tracy Neal. And I don't know how young he is or how old he is, but he's younger by a lot than me. And he seemed to be interested. I asked him if he would be interested. I said you would have to elect him. And so.
Okay, yeah, and then
He's somebody that you could.
I talked to him briefly when he moved into the house when I was still on Fifth Street, and yeah, he's, yeah, that's how we usually make that appointment there, here at the end of the year and everything, so that's something, I mean, he already has some experience, in that, so he's,
That's what I thought. That's why I asked him if he was interested.
okay, yeah, I definitely,
And he said he can, our meeting is at 4:30,
mhm.
and that would suit everybody. So he said that he could make the arrangements, that he would always be available at 4:30.
Okay.
And, he said that he could attend some of the conferences too, which makes, you learn a lot of things with the conferences,
Yeah.
laws, and how the board should be run, and also the new products. So, he seemed to, interested, so you can judge that. I just thought maybe somebody. that had that already some interest in plumbing, stuff like that.
I think he gave me his number when he moved in there, so I'll look it up and find it, but we'll reach out to him and, you know, talk to him and see everything else and get the board together and discuss what our options are and everything, but we thank you, Lila, for, you know, serving the community on that and, you know, going, I know that you took a lot of time and spent a lot of hours dedicated to that, so thank you for doing that. And, thank you for providing us with the updates from all of the, conferences you went to, and I appreciate that, we never lacked for knowledge on what was going on down the Waste District, so thank you for that.
Thank you, Lon.
I appreciate it, really do.
So do we have any other public comments? Who wants to go next? Jeremiah?
I believe last meeting you guys had, the Henry County Affordable Housing in here. They're wanting to build, I had a conversation with, Jeff Ray back a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago. He came over, let me express my concerns about it. I guess I'm just bringing that to you guys now, so maybe you guys can hopefully have a say-so in it a little bit. They want to build 2 houses on that lot that's 65 feet wide. I mentioned to him that the county ordinance is 10 feet off the property line. He basically said, we're in Spiceland, we don't have to go by that, because we don't have the county rules and regulations. He said it's going to be 5 feet off the county, or off the property line. And then I expressed my concern about you put 2 buildings on that small lot. That puts 4 buildings relatively close together. And if one were to catch fire, you could potentially burn 4 buildings down. He scrubbed his shoulders and said, yeah, like he didn't care. Not only that, if you're putting families of 4 in these houses, like he's talking, you're giving these, I mean, assuming they got 2 kids, you're giving these families 30-some feet for these kids to play in the backyard, and we all know what traffic's like over there, and they can't play on the road. They'll get run over, especially after school.
The teenagers and cars flying right through the stop sign all the time.
So, I don't care if they put 1 house there and more power to them. My concern is putting 2 houses side by side, 4 buildings that close, and being 5 feet off the property line is my biggest concern. Be right about it. And I'm the only property owner over there that lives there. Everything else is rentals. And I assume those people will move into those houses and they're gonna own them.
That's their model, they buy them, I mean, they're owners,
So, currently I'm the only one over there that lives over there.
So I did get a hold of, Jerry, and he does have availability to meet with us on Tuesday.
Okay.
If, so I know, Jack mentioned to me that you had some concerns and that might be good for us to have a conversation with him. So we're gonna sit down with Gary Cash next week, and
He showed up for a few minutes of the conversation. He seemed a little more reasonable than the other guy. The Jeff guy pretty much acted like, I'm gonna do what I want.
Yeah.
And I've learned over the years that if people are doing something that doesn't make sense, like putting 2 houses on a little bitty lot, 9 times out of 10 it's because there's money involved. Somebody's making money.
well, I mean, these guys, I mean, this is a nonprofit, I mean, they're not getting, they're volunteers.
That doesn't mean they're not getting a kickback from the contractor.
I got a comment on that. Not for profit does not mean that the people that are doing the job don't make some money. It just means they have to make sure that there is no profit on the dotted line. They can say they need $1 more on their salary, or they can pay the plumber $1 more an hour. But there is money involved here, and just be careful.
Well, I mean, obviously, there's money involved because there's contractors building it, but the people that are running the organization are just volunteers.
Well, so they're asking the school board to donate the entrance, to their homes for free.
Yeah.
No, because the plumbers aren't donating their time for free, the electricians aren't donating their time for free. That business is business.
But it's not a business. They're trying to bring down the cost of the house so that they can get those people who make too much money for any type of assistance, but not enough money to be able to just go and get a conventional loan. So it's that missing middle group of people who are first-time homeowners, younger people that are struggling to get into a house. Maybe they got student loan debts or other issues. They're trying to get that group that's trying to work their way up. It's a starter home. It's something that we put building starter homes.
Have you seen homes?
It just started.
I went to Middletown Falls to see the homes.
Yeah.
And, they're not the home that's gonna last for years, that's just the truth of it. But, they sell for $229,000.
Well,
That to me is not a cheap home.
right, I understand.
If you've only got a McDonald's job, you're not gonna be able to spend that for a local income home.
Well, again, I don't think they're targeting the McDonald's workers. They're trying to target the people that are somewhere in between. They're caught in the middle. And you're right. I mean, I think you said like $175,000 to $250,000, and it's at 80% of median home price. So it's not necessarily the cheapest home, but it's something that Henry County is lacking is that kind of middle, that can you go and get a really cheap house?
I do have my camera on my phone. I was looking for it because I took pictures of the houses that they built. Oops, that's the wrong thing.
Are they gonna get people to spend $200,000 for a little bitty lot like that? Who wants to spend that kind of money and bump their head on a house next door?
There's 3 pictures you can just do it that
Let's see right here. This is the Middletown one.
way.
You said it's in Middletown, Lyle?
That's in Middletown, yes.
Yeah.
Are there two houses built close together there? Or?
No, it's a single lot.
No, it's just single lot and a single house.
That's how the Newcastle one is too.
Why can't they do that here? They're wanting to take advantage of Skyline because of our lack of rules at the moment.
I think, Jeremiah, you have all those complaints that you brought up are very valid. There's some things that just anyone looking at this would see that there's some things that maybe seem a little unnatural. I just wanted to make, if we have this, I'm gonna sit down, me and Darren are going to talk with Jerry, who's in charge of this. The fact of the matter is with our zoning is that this new zoning doesn't take place until the zoning board sets this up. But at the same time, I think we have a responsibility to, get all the facts straight and, make sure that everything's on the up and, everything's above board. But,
When do you guys plan on having this meeting with them? Is it soon?
It's on Tuesday. What time is it? Yeah.
They were locating utilities today, and he told me he planned on starting on next month. Which, why wouldn't he? We ain't got the rules, and you guys don't have that board set till, January? So, why not try to rush the process and get it through? That seems like what he's trying to do to me. He's trying to rush it, get it going. That way, he can slide in and get 5 foot off the property line before we get any rules in place.
Yeah. Well, that's our first availability that he had right there. I mean, if I have to, we'll reach out and talk to him, if he can talk over the phone before that, but I definitely wanna, even if I talk to him over the phone, talk to him in person as well. Because, I mean, your concerns, your valid concerns need to be, expressed, and like you said, there's not another individual private homeowner that is in any of the adjoining lots itself. So, I'll make a personal promise to you that I will bring all of these up and we'll do whatever, we can to make sure that everything is above board and that, everything within our power. I can't, at the end of the day, that we're in this gray area, and, so that's what kind of ties our hands by laws and ordinances and, with setbacks and everything like that. But, I understand personally, if it was any of us that was right beside us, that we would, and, if we switched roles, I would want you to advocate on my behalf too. So I'll promise you personally that I will advocate on your behalf.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask something just out of curiosity. If it's a safety thing, could you have Julie ask for some sort of stay on that until you guys have the opportunity to investigate if building these structures in that manner could potentially cause any sort of, further damage or potential risk to that property down there?
That's something we could definitely have Julie look into.
I'm just, it just seems like if it's truly something that safety thing.
Well, and we have to have Julie take a look, and we have to confirm that any of our current ordinances, if this is in violation of any of our current building code ordinances, even though that's a very thin part of our ordinances right now, that's what our building code per se is falling back to. So,
I mean, Darren knows a lot more about that stuff than probably I'll ever know. So, as far as if it's within guidelines of normal, established practices, not just your ordinances, but if it's not within the normal standard of doing that type of business, to build that close or to build houses that would be potentially that close together. Just a question.
Yeah.
And Julie knows a lot more about property law too.
Would be fire ordinances that would prevent that from being that close together?
I don't think the town has that on
And
our
maybe
ordinances.
state ordinance.
That's what I'd say, something that may supersede it, so that's again something we're gonna have to, talk with Julie about pretty quick here, and get ahead of, so. No, they're all valid points, and, we'll update everybody as we have the conversations, and, I know that sounds like a nothing answer, but that's the most that I can do at this point, so.
Well, I would say, they want to do more business here, and from a council standpoint, we need more housing in Spiceland. So, but, they talked about a lot up here in the town homes and asking us to donate it, and I had some pause with that, but I want to see that they're reputable people that are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. If they don't do a good job down here on the spot that was donated to them by someone else, that wasn't town lot, then I'm going to be less likely to want to do this. So they're going to, when they meet, it'll be professional, and I'm sure they'll take heed that, there's some concern. So, we're here to represent the town and the citizens here, and we'll make the decisions that are right.
Well, there's a couple other lots down on Pearl Street that would be ideal for it, and, if there's something that can be worked out, those are primed for, that's what we want. We want single family houses on single family lots at the end of the day, and, that's, if you drive this town.
I'm all for that. I just don't want to see, not only for me, but for the people moving into those houses that, they're going to have no yard for their kids to play in.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have 30 feet. They can't even throw a ball.
Well, then
without
that,
throwing it into somebody else's yard or hitting their house or whatever. I mean,
well, that would be yours too, and then that is, you know, I'll speak personally, I mean, I think of my own property all the time about the liability that other people coming on my property presents, and I'm sure you've thought about the same thing. You know, they have a 30-foot place to play. If there's no fence, if there's nothing like that, then, you know, they're probably
if
gonna.
there's a fence, the ball's going over.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, kids are gonna be kids, they're gonna be playing.
Yep.
If you stick one family, if they were to stick one family there, then I'm perfectly fine with that. I have no, but to being 5 feet off the property line, my biggest concern, not my biggest, but one of my concerns, the fire hazard, putting 4 buildings right there in a row that close together because of being so close to the property line. And then those families ain't gonna have room on that small of a lot. It's 65 feet wide and 120 long. So, you put 2 houses in there, and the kids ain't got room to play.
No, Jeremiah, I agree. I think those are all very valid concerns. Those are all things that we're gonna bring up in that. And if we need to, if I need to talk with him before Tuesday, you know, I'm sure we can get on a phone call, but I also, like I said before, want to make sure I have an in-person meeting with them as well, so that, you know, we can talk through all the options, because, you know, maybe it's something that we can work with them for another opportunity on another lot here in town. You know, they build a single house out there, and then we look at another place here in town or something like that, for them to give it a second. So, we'll advocate for you. That's what we're looking for, and I promise you that you will get a follow-up, and your voice will be heard.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming tonight, Jeremiah. Matt, do you have any update on any happenings at all?
We've got court on the Yellow House here on Main Street. It's 15th of December, I believe, I guess, the court date she sent me. And then we have 2 more we're dealing with over on the other side of town that will probably be cited by the end of the week if they don't comply, so.
Okay.
There'll be 2 more in the process that will go to Julie, which I'll give the citations to Hope, and Hope can get them down there, so we can get those as soon as possible as well.
The one this month, what's the?
It's next month.
Or next month, yes. What, is that abandoned vehicle, is that a violation?
Correct. It appears it's still in the same shape. I go by every day. We photographed it the day the citations were issued. Obviously, I go by the day before court or the day of court, depending on what time court is that day. And take that with us as evidence for the town, and we've been really successful in everything we've taken. We've gotten a judgment in favor of the town.
That's just on one vehicle though?
No.
Okay.
So it is one citation that covers all.
Okay.
I know, luckily, ordinance violation, if there's 10 vehicles, you don't have to write 10 separate citations. And that's why we take photographs, and then the judge, he's really good about saying, you know, because they're going to say, oh, well, it runs, it doesn't have tires. Well, according to the statute, that makes it non-operational as far as I can tell, unless you're going to drive around on some, you know, brake drums, some rotors, so. But, yeah, that's set in motion, I think, for the 15th, was the court date I got.
Okay.
And then, just a heads up, obviously, the MOU expires on December 31, so if you guys and gals want to talk about what to continue or not to for next year, as far as...
That's a yearly contract.
Yeah.
Sneaks up on you, right?
Right.
Yeah. It's not a usually big deal, because usually commissioners have 2 meetings in December. I know your next meeting is what, the 19th? Yeah, I'll be in Florida then, but if you guys have any questions between now and then or need anything, and then if I'm not here, somebody can obviously get it onto the agenda for the commissioners, depending on what you guys, would like to see for next year. But yeah, it's just a yearly MOU.
Okay.
I think it hasn't changed in the last 3 years, except for the dates. So. Unfortunately, the process is slow, but Julie's good about getting them filed, and the court's good about getting us on the docket, so Newcastle takes us on. I think we're the only town that goes up there, so.
Well, it sounds like we're having good success with the judge, and
We are.
Yeah, we appreciate
Second
it.
our size, yeah.
No, he's, I won't say he just takes our side, but he does listen and he's understanding and he's given people the opportunity. When they haven't taken the opportunity, he then does what he says he'll do.
Well, usually before we get to that, we've already given them a lot of,
Correct.
a lot of grace.
But that is also, on the backside of what helps us when we go in there. It's not, we just drove by and given him a ticket. You know, I've stopped. I stopped and talked to his wife on the first occasion. Then he called in and talked to the sergeant, and the sergeant wrote a report that said I was down here talking to them about it. So it just, we have all that when we go.
Okay, perfect. Well, if there's any other, you know, updates or any other change or something like that, just, you know, keep us aware of it. If not, we'll wait on that court date and see, the judgment.
And you guys can decide about the MOU for next year.
Yeah. We'll pause the old one and have open. We need to discuss date changes and everything that involves, and so we probably need to vote on that at the December meeting. So.
Yeah, because I don't think the sheriff's office is gonna increase like $35 or something like that. There's nothing in there to be.
Okay.
And also, you know, Dunrick has taken over the same as a smaller platform, and we're meeting with, I think, Louisville here soon too, about potentially with MOU, so.
Well, other than that, is there any other audience comments or questions? Mr. Miller?
Well, he kind of talked about what some of what I was gonna say about I'm sure you guys get tired of hearing about the hood every month. But I was just out of curiosity, this new planning commission, will they have any say-so or authority or input to ban about the lighted conditions of property?
I mean, we already have a lot, potentially, you could add some additional language in the ordinance, but we already have quite a bit of language, around the abandoned vehicles, nuisance properties,
Those are two big ones.
vegetation, there's already stuff, really, the most of what people are complaining about, we're actively working on.
So we're addressing, it's a little bit slow.
Yeah, to be honest, like the yards this last couple years have been way better. It's the abandoned vehicles that they deal with.
Yeah.
Now, and I think the trash, the dumpsters we're doing, I think they help, those, at some point in time, maybe we may end up paying for somewhere, because it's just very helpful, people are cleaning up their yards.
Now, having chickens in town still prohibited?
Yes.
Okay, there's chickens in backyards, north side of Central.
It's not there. They're gone now. The chicken coop's there's no chickens as of last week when I went by.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I stopped ahead. So Hope brought that to my attention. I stopped and talked to them.
Okay.
They asked for a few days because they had somebody to take them. I went back within the time they asked. The coop is still there, but there are no chickens there.
Yeah.
Unless they put them in there since in the last few weeks.
But we appreciate your keen eye.
But if there are, I will definitely drive by again and get out and look, because I had a nice discussion with them and they were gone.
Or your ears, one or the other, whatever.
That's about all for me.
Okay.
I don't know, it was interesting, the Courier Times did an article about Louisville, and they were having a conversation about an ordinance issue, and the lady showed up because she was watching it on the live stream, and came in and had a conversation, so I thought that was an interesting article, so.
She was watching and just got up and came to the.
Yeah, got up, came to the meeting, walked in behind them when the meeting was going on, they got a picture of her, like, she showed up behind and was pretty upset with them, but then they had, according to the Courier, they had a nice conversation, and they worked a lot of stuff out. That's great.
Yeah, democracy in real time.
Yeah.
We get used to.
Imagine if that happened on the federal level.
Oh, God. Okay, well, if there's no more questions or comments from the audience, we'll go ahead and I'll take a motion to adjourn the November 8th